background. So this event, this is the third event that a group of friends and I have been doing. We've never had this many people come. So apparently there is a lot of love for the Homeless Youth Law Clinic and a pent-up demand to make care kits together. So stay tuned. Next year we're going to get a way bigger space, and it's going to be amazing. But if folks are interested, we'll have future events, and every event we have a different theme. So today we're going to talk up to the Homeless Youth Law Clinic. We've got Violet here, who is on the board, and John, who is, how would you describe yourself, John?
He's the man.
John the lawyer. Here to share with you about the Homeless Law Clinic. And afterwards, there's going to be an opportunity to support the work they do. They're a very small nonprofit that does amazing work with kids who really need their services. So thanks, and please, we'll be about 10-15 minutes.
Hi everyone, my name is Violet. Hi Violet. Hi, thank you for coming. I'm going to move the mic stand. You got to go right into the mic. I'm supposed to talk right into the mic. So here's what we thought would be helpful and interesting. John and I are going to have a fluid conversation. Don't step away from me. I smell good. I took a shower this morning. John and I are going to have a fluid conversation about the law clinic, because I think it's important that you understand not only why the services are needed, but how these services are delivered and how it's different, how this is a different way of delivering legal services than the way in which the Oregon Law Center or legal aid administers their services. So we're going to get into that a little bit. We're going to have a conversation. The mic is going to be passed back and forth. And then I'm going to make the pitch to you for financial support. So you're going to hear that from me. Right? Okay, so I would like to start this off by saying John and I, and also Nicole, went to the same law school, right? We went to the same law school. We just missed each other. John and Nicole graduated that summer, and I started in the fall. So we met each other here in Portland when I had the opportunity to connect with John over discrete legal issues. So we found each other miraculously, and that's quite amazing. Through Christina Holmes. So thank you, Christina, who's also a board member. So I want to say that, and what makes John extraordinary is not only is he a lawyer, but he's also an MSW. So he brings a very fresh perspective to lawyering. So for those of you who are lawyers in the room and you're thinking about lawyering and delivering legal services, keep that in the back of your mind and notice how that comes through with John. So John, I'm going to start asking you this question and pass you the mic. Why did you start, both you and Nicole, but why did you, since I'm having the conversation with you, why did you start the clinic, the Homeless Youth Law Clinic? Why?
Why? That's a good question. First of all, thank you everybody for coming. This is very overwhelming for us. We're a very small grassroots nonprofit. So the reason we started the Homeless Youth Law Clinic is Portland has one of the highest percentages of homeless youth in the country, but there is actually no access to a lawyer. And that made us sort of rare because I'm sorry.
Quiet back here. Okay. You're New Yorker. Come on.
All right, sorry. So Portland has one of the highest homeless youth populations in the country. Every single night, there's at least 1,000 to 1,500 unaccompanied youth on the streets. And that doesn't take into account also the 22,000 homeless students who are in the Portland public schools. So you're talking about a huge population. So we thought we could make a difference and start a homeless youth law clinic. And the way we wanted to do that, though, the way we talked about doing this, is we wanted to make it very youth focused. And the way we were going to do that is to learn from the youth who are on the streets and in the schools what their issues are. So what we said is we started a volunteer project in 2014. We went and started volunteering at where youth gather, at the day centers, at this, where they gather. So we just sat there and we started our clinic. that good?
Yeah, so that tells you a little bit about how you started the law clinic, right? You saw a need and you started implementing, and I appreciate that. But John, you're not just lawyering from the traditional lawyer perspective. You are lawyering from a community lawyer perspective. You are engaging in community lawyering. And I know that we have lawyers and non-lawyers in the room. So if you would kind of give us a synopsis of what is community lawyering and how is it different than the traditional lawyering systems analysis theory, which is currently being implemented by organizations like Legal Aid.
Okay, so legal aid, how they operate is they say, we solve these 5 or 6 different issues. We can solve your benefits, your housing, your family law issues. That's how they operate. That's not what we wanted to do. We thought we would go to the community and the community would tell us what they need. And so that is it's a very different operation. And maybe an example is a good way to do this. So the other day I was at the PAIR clinic, and this young woman came to me. She's in foster care. Well, she was in foster care. And we said, oh, does anybody have any legal issues? And she said, what's a legal issue? And so we sort of explained that to her, and she said, well, what if my foster parent kicked me out and is collecting my Social Security? Is that a legal issue? And we said, yes, that's a legal issue. Come on in and come talk to us. So she actually successfully cut off her foster parents from getting that. Now we are helping her become her own payee. So that is how we do the clinic. She tells us what she needs, and we help her do it. We don't claim we're an expert in her life or the homeless youth's lives. They're the experts. What we know is how to be a lawyer. Really, they know how to live their lives. So we're helping them sort of solve their legal issues.
Okay, so I'm sure folks know that we're going to be asking for money, right? Folks know that. I'm going to be asking you for money. And one way that folks are curious about how you do what you do is, can you tell us a little bit about the average week? So what did this last week look like for you? Because then I want to get kind of into the cost of running this clinic, because that's where the money is going to go, right? You don't get paid, John, right? What we're fundraising for are filing fees, postage, copies, service, things like that, right? We're not fundraising to pay you an hourly wage. We're fundraising so that we can get costs covered for the legal services that you provide. So, knowing that, I'm going to ask you, we just finished the week. Will you tell me about the week that we just finished?
Sure. Okay, so we had a busy week. It was actually a pretty emotional week this week. So it started out with, we have a young woman who she actually just aged out of the system. And so we've been working with her on a whole bunch of other issues, but she calls me and she she Googled herself and she has a warrant. And she didn't know she had a warrant, so she called me frantic, what do I do, what do I do? And so, and if you know anything about warrants, it's not like she got in trouble. What happened was, in 2013, she pled to a disorderly conduct or something, and as part of the legal system, they attached the fees to her judgment. So because she didn't ever pay the fees, all of a sudden she has a warrant. And they called her up, and she called them, said, what do I do? And they said, well, if you don't come, you're going to go to jail. So we told her that's not true, that's not going to happen. So, so this was in Pacific County, Washington. We called them up. Within 5 minutes, we had the warrant quashed. We helped her pay the $250 fees it was, and she doesn't have a warrant anymore. And just to let you know about this client, she was actually going to be here today, but she didn't. So her name is Diana, and we actually just invited her on the board. So she's that's one of the things we also strive to do, is get youth voices on the board. It's very important to us. We're always working to do that. So we're also defending an eviction. We also defended an eviction last week. That's ongoing. So that was also $100 legal fees we had to pay, and that could go on for quite a while. And the really big case that we had to deal with this week is actually in the Portland Public Schools. Just so you look at 22,000 homeless students, we started our project in 2014. There is now 20%, 2,000 more homeless students in Portland. That's how bad this crisis is. But so we got this call from a frantic call from a counselor who said this young person, she's homeless, she's with her dad, he's homeless, he's using drugs, her mom is using drugs, and she had a specific place she wanted to be with her siblings. So we started investigating, and we called DHS about this. DHS is involved, and they don't want to do anything. Even though she is telling them that she's in danger, but they don't want to do anything. So we decided we'll file a petition on her behalf. So we've been working on that all week, and we're gonna file that on Monday, which is gonna cost $150 to file this petition. Even though DHS can do it for free, but they don't want to do it. So that was our week.
Okay, so let's, you have highlighted for me the thing that is most important for me, which is how does an organization consistently center the voices of the community that it seeks to serve? And you answered that question. You said, look, Diana is going to join our board. She's going to be a board member. She's going to be a board member with me and Christina, right? You have other former clients, maybe current clients, as board members. Isn't that correct?
That's correct.
Can you tell me about them, please?
Sure. We actually had the first client we ever had he was actually formerly homeless and working as a case manager. His name is Tyrone. He's been on our board from the very beginning, and he's had ongoing legal issues with his daughter. And so we're working with him on that, and another issue just arose about her visitation. So we're helping Tyrone deal with that. Tyrone wanted to be here, but he's not here. But so yeah, we want youth voices on our board. It's very important because if you know anything about the homeless youth population, if you look around, so if you were in foster care, within 1 year, 50% of foster kids are on the streets. That's how bad it is. It is like a pipeline to the streets. So, I guess I don't know where I'm going with that, but it's...
Sure. All right, so John, I appreciate you telling me a little bit about your week, the population that you serve, the way in which you center the voices of youth within the organization, and within the method of lawyering that you envision and implement, right? So those are all incredibly important things, and those are all the things that set the Homeless Youth Law Clinic apart from the legal services that we're all familiar with, right? Oregon Law Center, legal aid, even pro bono work, right? Even if I do pro bono work, I'm not working to center the experience of my client. I'm simply there to resolve a discrete issue. A wage theft, you weren't paid minimum wage? All right, we'll get the minimum wage thing figured out. Good luck to you, bye-bye, right? That is generally how lawyers do it. That is not how the clinic does it, and I think it's incredibly important. So when we come to you today, when I'm here in front of you today and I'm saying, pull out your checkbook, I want you to financially support this project, I'm asking you to invest not only in the immediate work that the clinic is doing, but in the future of legal services. Because if we can get this model funded, then this can become the standard. So I'm asking you not only in the investment in the current, present day, but also in the future. So let's move. Do you mind? Do you mind if I start just asking for money? All right, so I'm going to be asking for money. I'm going to ask you to pull out your checkbook, your credit card, and pay something. So let's talk about that. John identified for you roughly $400 to $500 in costs that the clinic needed to pay out just this last week. Just this last week, right? None of that is wages for John. That is all filing fees. So what I did was I asked, I'm sorry, I feel like I need to talk louder and louder over the over the overall volume. So I looked up some of the filing expenses that are associated with generally the type of work that the clinic does. Expungements, right? You want to clear your criminal record. Does anybody know how much a filing fee is for that? Filing fee for that. Who knows? Dollar amount. 252. Who said 252? Winner, winner, chicken dinner. Exactly. 252. That's just to file it. That's not certified copies. That's not fingerprinting. That's not the notary. That's not any of that. That's going directly to the courthouse. $252, right? What about responding to an eviction? FEDs. Anybody know how much to respond to an eviction? $250, $750. Anyone else? So it's $79 to file your response, and it's $150 for each day of trial. You want a court to hear your side of the story? It's $150 a day. What about getting a name change or a gender confirmation judgment? $295, $175. It's $250. Rima should know, it is $111 to file the paperwork, plus $5 a certified judgment. You will need at least 6 copies. Right? And that's to get a name change or a gender conforming judgment so that you can change your documentation. You can change your driver's license, you can change your social security card. So let's talk money. It costs $22,000 to $26,000 a year just to help youth pay filing fees, costs, service, postage, that kind of thing. That's how much it costs. Right? So I'm asking that everyone in this room, all adults in this room, to put up at least $100. At least $100. And we have a board member who's willing to match 4 $250 donations today. 4. I got one right here. Thank you. So, thank you, Rima, for $100. Thank you, Rima, for $100. Thank you. Rima, here's what I need from you. I need information from you. Because the number of donors count. The profile of individuals who support the organization count. Why? Anybody know why?
Participation counts for grants.
Participation counts for grants. Specifically, I'm asking little ones to contribute today. Little ones, because I want the Homeless Youth Law Clinic to be able to go to the Meyer Trust and say, 7-year-olds support us. How dare you not support us? Yeah. So I need everyone, including little ones, to share their information with us. First, last name, and a contact location, email address, something, so that we can count you as a supporter, even if you're a little one. Do we have a little one? We have a little one. Yes! Awesome. Look. Wait. I need you to fill out some information so we can count. We can count you. We have another person. Alder. Elena.
That's $200 from Mammy.
$200 for Mammy. Thank you, Linda. Mother to Mammy. And Cameron, thank you, Cameron. We got $100 from Cameron. And we have from Alder,
Alder's giving her $9, and I'm doing a match, so I'm putting in $9 to leverage her donation, and then I'm going to make up the rest, $80 to make 100 donations.
yes, thank you so much. Wait, I'm going to need your information because I want it all to count. So all contributions count. 250. So we got 250 right here. We got 1, 2. Yes, Julia.
20 from me, 20 from Adam.
20 from you, 20 from Adam. I'm going to need info. All right, so the person, I was going to talk to you all about discomfort. I was going to say some stuff about Ramadan and discomfort, but I just see the money rolling in. So I'm going to stop right here. I'm going to pitch it. You don't need to hear about brown stuff. I'm going to pitch it to Nicole. Nicole is in charge of the money. Nicole, this is Nicole. She's in charge of the money. Please see Nicole. I appreciate you being here. Thank you for listening to me.
And Allison in the purple t-shirt, HLC, and Caitlin, thank you, in the gray t-shirt, and Melinda, thank you everyone, and see them if you have questions or me about anything HLC related.
These 3 lovely ladies, right here. Thank you so much. Pack, pack, pack. Thank you very much.